Well, it's a bit of a wet summer's day outside here in Ballybofey in County Donegal, where I've caught up with Ailish O'Boyle and Mary Dawson, better known back in the day as the Quinn sisters, who used to live up on the hill in the townland of Straness, which is now part of the Meenadreen wind farm. My name's Rosie Billingham, and I'm Community Engagement Manager with the Energia Renewables team, and I'm keen to hear, what it was like living in the now uninhabited cottage, which is in need of a bit of TLC, and thanks to our operations team, it's going to get a bit of a makeover. So if I can start with you, Ailish, thanks for joining us. And what was it like, first of all, seeing your family home, and then to hear that it's going to be renovated and become a stopover for walkers on the Leghowney Loop, the walk that goes through the wind farm?
Well, the first I heard about this project was when a young man arrived at my home, Brendan McGlinchey from Ballybofey, who's the operations manager in Straness, and he told me of the plan and the project. So I was absolutely delighted by that, and Mary and I decided to go over one day, and we met Brendan and all of the staff, and we talked about the project and what they planned to do. And I just can imagine what it's going to be like when it's partially restored. And I'm sure that Mary feels the same way about it.
Yes, I do, actually. I was very happy to hear it was going to be restored.
And what was it like standing there?
I found it hard to recognise before they started clearing the site.
Because it was so overgrown?
It was all overgrown, and I found it difficult to recognise parts that I remembered. But once I saw it cleared, I could then see where everything had been. The hedges and the wall at the front and little path around, all that. We were all very happy there, and with no great expectations. We enjoyed Christmas and people coming to visit.
We had no electricity. And we didn't have a bathroom, and we did have a radio. And the radio was a very, very important aspect of our lives. And I remember my brother and I used to be in competition over who was the most famous star singer. He was into, I thought Bridie Gallagher at the time. She was the the local star at the time, whereas he was into Nat King Cole and all those rock and roll at the time, and the radio. And then I remember our neighbour was one of the first people to get a television set. And as a child, we went to see the wedding of Princess Margaret. That was my first introduction to a black and white television set.
They do say, sort of up on the wind farm, you can go through 4 seasons in a day. What was Christmas like? Presumably sometimes you did get snowed in up there.
Oh yes, it got very heavy snow at times. And then you would have difficulty in getting out and going shopping or going to school and things like that. And I remember going to school, and while during the day the snow came, my father came to meet us coming home from school and take the bicycle, and we walked home.
I remember one particular year, Margaret, my sister, she was 2 years older than I am. We decided that we were going to have a Christmas tree, even though we had no electricity. So at night, we went up to the local house up the road up in Straness, further up than where the station is now, and we cut a tree, a small tree, and we brought it down and we had it. We put it up in the what was then the sitting room come bedroom, and we decorated it with, because then you made your own decorations.
We enjoyed life really, because there were other houses there not too far from us, and there was people living in them. And then as time went on, they just died or
Moved out of the area.
Moved out, yeah.
Then the most dreaded event of the year was going to the bog. The bog was out the back where where the beautiful view is now, looking down to the sea. There's an actual wind farm standing or a turbine standing there, and we used to have to go to the bog, and we hated it. I still hated the bog, and because of the midges and when you went to the bog, you brought everything with you, your supplies, and you had to stay there all day until the turf was cut and spread and turned. And then, of course, you had the annual haymakings, and making the cocks. That's what they were called at that time, making the cocks of hay. And that also was a task that I personally hated.
What about you, Mary? Did you not mind? Did the midges go for one of you more than the other?
No, the midges always went for me, yeah. But they still do. Yeah, the midges.
They followed
but
you.
I remember having a doll, and I appreciate, this doll, I thought it was lovely. And I must have brought the doll out to the hayfield, and it got built into the haystack. So I had to wait until it was brought. And when it was after a month or 2 months or whatever, it was brought in and built into a bigger. So I found the doll again. I always remember that.
So, Ailish, you were actually the youngest, and you were born in the cottage.
I was born, yes, in Straness, yes. And of course, I don't remember the events at the time, but the story goes that my brother, Charlie, was repairing his shoe, and he was using an awl, and he put the awl accidentally through his finger. And my mother got such a shock that she went into premature labour. And of course it was easy enough, it was her 9th child. So, but my father headed off on his bicycle down to Alice Kelly's, the local woman, and she arrived up and duly delivered me. Mary, you have special memories of that day because you were at home as well.
Well, that is, I was going
on your school outing.
I was going to my school outing, so I still went on the school outing, and I came back from Letterkenny, and I had to get a taxi home.
And there she was.
And there she was there, yes, yeah.
We didn't appreciate the beauty that surrounded us at the time.
No.
We thought we were so remote because you had to walk. You had to walk. As children, we walked to school, and then my father would drive the car on a Sunday to church. That was sort of a special outing. And myself and Margaret were in the church choir in Clara, and we sort of saw ourselves as the country kids.
So what do the family now think of the news of the old family cottage?
They think it's a great,
Because you've got grandchildren,
yeah,
they'll be keen
the
to
grandchildren,
see it.
yeah. The grandchildren are very interested now in the technical, about the windmills and the turbines, and they ask all sorts of questions. When you went to school and who you went to school with and what you did and all this sort of.
It's a different world.
My father, when he was there, he always said that Straness would be famous someday, that it would have a hotel there, and that was sort of a joke on the family. And it's nice now to know that some of those dreams that he had have been realised, that now it's giving employment to so many people, and it's bringing so much happiness to people who are able to come walking to the area and appreciate its beauty and the landscape. Something that I now appreciate, but I didn't appreciate it as a child. The only thing we really enjoyed was the sea view. We used to go out to the front garden and look down at the sea.
Well, Ailish and Mary, thank you so much for sharing your memories of life in Straness back in the day when there was no wind farm. I know you'll be watching progress, you and your family, progress up at the Meenadreen wind farm, and you can't wait to see your family home renovated, as I say, as a walker's refuge and point of interest on the Leghowney Loop trail. We're obviously going to keep you updated on all that progress, and we really would be delighted if you and your family would be our guests of honour at the big launch.
That would be wonderful, Rosie.
Yeah,
thank you so much, and thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Thank
you. Recall so much of our history that we are now very proud of, and we're just so happy that you've afforded us the opportunity. And I want to thank Brendan in particular for being so kind and helpful and doing so much to make it a living project. Thank you.